So this is mind bang, and I can't sleep again. This time because I dreamed a hamburger was eating me. All this was happening while I was in a theater flooded with beer and swimsuit models. Anyways, you get a still piping hot crazy bones theory about everybody's favorite office comedy, Severance. Kidding, the show's it's a GD existential nightmare on wheels. So off to the head-slapping theory. Severance. LUMON'S endgame is colder than you think. Just when we thought Severance couldn't get any more disturbing, Episode 7 of Season 2 decides to drop Cold Harbor into the mix. A term so ominous it might as well come with a horror movie soundtrack. On its surface, it sounds like another one of LUMON'S nightmarish rooms, just another floor where they poke and prod at employees like lab rats. But the name itself? A not-so-subtle reference to one of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War, where Union soldiers were basically sent to their deaths in a meat grinder of gunfire. So, what exactly is LUMON cooking up down there? Theories are flying, but one stands out. LUMON isn't just making obedient workers, they're making emotionless ones. And if you thought being severed was bad, imagine working for a company that wants to delete your ability to feel anything. Cold Harbor, LUMON'S final solution for workplace morale. Here's the deal. The whole point of Severance was already messed up enough. Strip away personal memories so you can turn human beings into efficient little corporate drones? Yeah, sounds like every CEO's wet dream. But the issue LUMON keeps running into is that people, even when severed, still feel things. Dylan misses his kid. Irving paints hallways of doom because he knows something is wrong. And Mark? Mark can't shake his connection to Gemma, no matter how hard LUMON tries. That's a problem for a company whose entire business model is built on complete control. Enter Cold Harbor. Fans think this is LUMON'S next step, a way to eliminate emotions entirely. Not just the memories of an outie, but any sense of guilt, love, fear, or remorse. Think about it. How much more efficient would a workforce be if they literally didn't care? No burnout, no panic attacks in the break room, no pesky humans questioning why they're devoting their entire existence to arranging squiggly numbers. And considering LUMON'S obsession with eugenics and immortality, it's not a stretch to think this isn't just about making better workers. It's about making a whole new breed of humans. Mark and Gemma, the love story. LUMON didn't plan for. While LUMON is busy trying to delete the human condition, there's one problem they didn't anticipate. Love. Because no matter how hard they try to separate Mark and Gemma, the connection between them is still there, burning through all of LUMON'S corporate gaslighting. Mark was supposed to be the perfect test subject. He agreed to Severance willingly, desperate to escape the grief of losing his wife. By LUMON'S logic, his innie should have been a blank slate, a perfect worker who never even thought about the outside world. But the moment Miss Casey, who we now know as Gemma, walked into that room, Mark's innie felt something deep enough to cut through all of LUMON'S conditioning. This isn't supposed to happen. Severance was designed to create two completely separate consciousnesses, no cross-contamination, no emotional bleed-through, and yet Mark and Gemma are drawn to each other like gravity. This means one of two things. One, Severance is flawed. No matter how much LUMON tries to separate people, emotions and connections still find a way through. If Mark can recognize his wife on some primal level, what does that mean for the rest of the severed employees? What if they all have buried emotions clawing their way to the surface? Mark and Gemma were always special. Maybe their connection is something deeper, something LUMON needed to suppress. And considering the growing theory that LUMON was already experimenting on them before they were severed, their relationship could be exactly what LUMON is trying to erase. LUMON'S big bet, the birth of the perfect worker. So where does this all lead? Back to LUMON'S other favorite experiment, fertility. We already know the company has been obsessed with reproduction, from the cryptic baby goats to the eerie undertones surrounding Helena's storyline. What if Severance isn't just about controlling workers, but about creating a new kind of person altogether? One that is born severed, with no pesky emotional baggage or memories to get in the way? Cold Harbor might be the final test, a way to push the severance procedure even further. Because if you can erase emotions, you don't just have a perfect employee. You have the foundation for an entirely new species. A species bred for one purpose: serving Kieran forever. Where does this leave Mark? Mark has always been the reluctant hero of this story, the guy who stumbled into something so much bigger than himself. But with Cold Harbor looming and his connection to Gemma breaking all of LUMON'S rules, he's quickly becoming their biggest threat. If emotions can survive Severance, then the entire experiment is doomed to fail. And if Mark and Gemma's connection proves to be the key, Lumon might have a much bigger problem than an employee rebellion. Because love, unlike neatly arranged numbers, isn't something you can just file away. And I'm spent. Thanks for listening to me. It makes my liver swell 6 sizes too large. Just kidding, my liver is regular size. At least I think it is. I should have taken a peek when that Wendy's Double Baconator was munching on me. Okay, like, share, and subscribe if you know what's good for you, and you are here, so you obviously don't. But I can't judge. See you next time here on Mind Bang.